What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. One more episode to go in The Boys. Now, we know that there's going to be a spin-off show called Vault Rising. They're probably going to have several more spin-offs of The Boys. They've already had Gen V. They've had that Boys cartoon that wasn't very good. What was that called? I don't remember. Boys Diabolical or something like that. So I'm sure they'll have more spin-offs, but this is the end of the main show. One more episode to go. What have I thought of season 5 so far going into the last episode, and what do I want to see in the last episode? Well, I think season 5 has been a very mixed bag. It's like Kripke hasn't really known what direction he wanted to take it. It's like they were playing with the soups virus pretty much the last few seasons, plus Gen V. And then all of a sudden the soups virus becomes unimportant. They've been setting up the new Vault Rising show with Soldier Boy. Like so much focus is put on Soldier Boy when I just want to know how you're going to beat Homelander. So yeah, and it's just Kripke has become obsessed. Like, he is clearly one of those Hollywood West Coast lefties who cannot get Trump out of his brain. That's clearly the case here. Like, his mission in life is to let Donald Trump live in his brain, and it's going to be reflected in all of his art. Oh my gosh, this is the most overt politically season of maybe any show I've ever seen. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Now, for those of you who maybe are watching me for the first time on this video, I am not a Trumper. I am also not a liberal. I tend to lean conservative on most political issues. I lean liberal on a number of them. I am a very center of the road American. I have voted for Democrats before. I usually end up voting for Republicans or third party. But I have voted for Democrats before. I vote on the people who align most with my values. That being said, I'm not a Trumper. It's still exhausting to see all these Hollywood West Coast liberals reflect anti-Trump sentiment in everything that they're making, everything that they're doing. It's tiring. We see it on the news constantly. We see it on podcasts constantly. People are always talking about which tribe they're on. And it's exhausting. And I go to entertainment to escape from all the crap. And sometimes you turn on your favorite show only to find that it is now the same old crap. It's the same thing everybody else is doing, talking about politics, making fun of Trump, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Yeah, season 5 has been slow. It's been slow. And it seems like it hasn't really known what it wants to do. That being said, there's still some very good stuff in here. You know, Anthony Starr's performance as Homelander is still top notch. Carl Urban as Butcher is top notch. Jack Quaid as Huey, top notch. You know, you are seeing great performances. You're seeing great story beats in a season that has just kind of been lackluster. I feel like I signed up to watch an action-packed, hard-hitting last season of a superhero show, and I'm getting a girl who thinks she's a cat sniffing the butt of a guy who thinks he's a dog. I mean, I don't know. This is coming off as very negative, and I'm really not ultra negative on this season of The Boys so far. I'm middle of the road on it, just like my politics. But I think the finale is going to decide whether I'm positive or negative on it, because so far there's so much that I like in season 5 of The Boys, but there's just so much that is frustrating me, so much that's not working for me. So yeah, I'm very mixed, and I think the finale is going to definitely play a big role into whether or not I actually like The Boys season 5. What do I want to see in the finale? I want to see Homelander get his comeuppance. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I want to see him get his comeuppance. I want to see him defeated. I want to see him turned into a normie. I want to see him shunned by society. I don't care. I need to see him get his comeuppance. I want to see a throwdown between Homelander and Butcher, or Homelander and the Boys. I want to see a throwdown. I want to see a fight. A conversation is not going to end this. This is 5 seasons of Homelander killing innocent people. Conversation ain't going to end it. It's got to be a throwdown between Homelander and Butcher, or Homelander and the Boys. Butcher's got to be in there. So Homelander's got to get his comeuppance. You've got to have a big fight at the end between Homelander and Butcher. We've got to resolve the Deep storyline. Either he's probably going to get eaten by fish, right? Like, I feel like that's what's going to happen. Some sort of ocean creature is going to kill him. That's fine. We gotta wrap up the Deep storyline. We gotta wrap up Huey and Starlight's storyline. Gotta see, are they going to end up together? Are they both going to survive? I don't know. But we got to wrap up that storyline. We've got to wrap up Soldier Boy's storyline. Is he going to get refrozen? Is he going to die? Is he going to take out his son? That's something else we got to figure out. There are still a lot of threads here. Kimiko, we got to figure out her. Is she going to live? Is she going to die? Is she going to ultimately become the new Soldier Boy and take out home? There's so many loose threads here. And I'm not even listing them all. There's probably double that on how many loose storylines need to be wrapped up. So I want to see them wrap up storylines. This is the last episode. There should not be a lot dangling out there. There shouldn't be a lot of questions out there. You can leave some stuff up to audience interpretation. That's perfectly fine. I think that's reasonable. But your main storylines, your Homelander, your Butcher, your Huey, your Starlight, those have to be resolved. Soldier Boy, those have to be resolved. They have to be. Otherwise, it's going to be frustrating. Fans are going to be angry. There has to be a big battle at the end. There hasn't been any battles in this season. One of the biggest battles we got was Homelander choking out Soldier Boy. It's been a frustrating season. And like I said, there's been a lot of good, but it's been frustrating. So I think those are the things they have to do to make sure that The Boys ends on a high note. And I'm not convinced they're going to do that. I think Kripke's going to be far more interested in getting a few more jabs in at Donald Trump than he's going to be in at wrapping up the story in a satisfying way. So that's my take on it. All right, guys, what do you think? You think they're going to be able to wrap up season 5 of The Boys in a satisfying fashion? Am I being too critical? Has season 5 been better than I'm saying? What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.